Hi all. We are launching the data science course and Manish is the instructor for the course. So let me tell you about Manish. So Manish did his masters from IIT Bombay and he did his PhD from University of Illinois and currently is working as a principal researcher at Microsoft, and he has got a lot of teaching experience as well. So he has been in this area for the past 15 years and he has been now currently he is teaching at IIT Hyderabad as well as ISB as a visiting faculty. So if you want to learn anything from scratch, it is always better that we learn from a master. So with lot of experience he is coming in this area and I personally love the way he teach. So that is why we are introducing Manish here. So I'll ask Manish to tell you about what data science is.
Oh, thank you, Ravi, for the kind words, right? So, data science is growing significantly these days. It's basically, as the name says, science about data. So, if you have any kind of data, how to derive insights out of it is basically what data science is all about. So, it includes things like machine learning, AI, ML, and, all those statistics, deep learning kind of things that you might have heard of, right? But at the basic core, it's just about trying to figure out some interesting insights out of your data, right? So it's basically, you might have heard in your engineering course that processed data is called information. But that's sort of old. So in the sense, you can get information from data, but how do you get knowledge from your data, right? And based on that knowledge, how can you take actionable? How do you get actionable insights, right? So how can you basically take some actions which can benefit your business from the raw data that you are collecting is what data science is all about. So taking data and then somehow impacting your business so as to improve efficiency and effectiveness of your business. That's all.
So let me ask you one more question. Mm-hmm. So why this word data science is so trending these days?
Yeah, that's a great question, Ravi. So it turns out that people were trying to do some sort of insight finding from data for a long amount of time. But these days, what has happened? A few things have happened. In fact, first thing, a lot of data is available. So, 10 years back, not much of data was available. Now, thanks to internet, thanks to so much of, data awareness among people, data is being collected and recorded at various places, right? So that's one, right? Second, compute power is available. So earlier, if you had to do something on very large amounts of data, you just couldn't do it, right? But now, fortunately, there's a whole bunch of compute power available, right? And next, people have been very, very aware of this data science. And therefore, not just people are contributing money. So there's a lot of funding in this area, right? People are also contributing data. They are collecting data. New sensors are coming up. People are collecting data at new venues. And lastly, people are developing very awesome algorithms to process these things, right? And, this is what I therefore call as the data science era. And, I think that this is the right time to sort of get into data science if you are still not aware of data science, right? Otherwise, you're missing on one of the basic important things in life these days, right? So that's the reason. So why data science is so hot these days.
Okay. So Manish, you have been working in this area for the past 15 years and for the past 5 years you have taken up teaching. So what motivated you to get into teaching while you are working in this area?
Yeah, so that's a very awesome question, Ravi. So in fact, I've been so passionate about teaching that, as soon as I finished my PhD and returned back to India, I've been doing both the things. I mean, being in the industry as well as in academia, just don't want to leave the academia at all, right? Now, why teach about data science? So, I've been teaching at IIT Hyderabad and ISB, but, I somehow always realized that, hey, why am I limiting this knowledge to so small set of people? Why not sort of democratize it and make it available to everyone who wants to get into data science, right? And in fact, every day I get so many requests from people so that can I do a project with you? Can I sort of can you please explain this to me? And it would have been very nice if we could initiate into machine learning. How do we get started with this thing, right? And I thought that this is such a nice channel to sort of reach out to a lot of people, although after spending some time into it, right? Now, there are multiple kinds of people who have been approaching me. So undergrads who basically, who have some kind of courses in their colleges. Not all colleges still have machine learning courses, right? In undergrad, right? So this kind of thing gives undergrads ability to learn about what is hot right now, even though their colleges don't provide such education, right? So that's one, right? And as an undergrad, you might be working on various projects. Frankly, let me tell you, projects with machine learning are hot. And projects with data science and all these kind of new technologies are so awesome, right? Rather than typical boring projects, in traditional kind of things, right? So that is one of the motivations why I want to do this, right? And the second thing, even if you're doing, say, masters, you might be doing masters also from very good universities, but many times what happens is that you know that concept, but you don't know it in enough detail so that you can carry on in that area and form a nice thesis or do better research, right? So that is one of the other motivations, right? So as to basically, if you're a master's student, then I think this course will help you clarify some of those concepts which you thought you knew, right? But you may not know in enough depth, right? And knowing concepts is one thing, but being able to link them is another. So, you have some concepts, you can link them with other concepts, and then you feel, wow, right? So that kind of thing doesn't come up until you really know things in depth, right? So that's another thing, right? Now, even for folks, in fact, the third kind of things that I'm going to talk about are the people who are majority in some senses, right? There are a whole bunch of experienced folks, right? They have like 15 years, 20 years of experience in the domain. And now the problem is that all of the companies want to do data science, right? Now these guys just don't know anything ABC about data science. So they do want to get started somewhere, okay? And the problem that they face, they don't have time. Okay. One thing, they don't have time. Second, the content is so much, they don't know where to start from, right? So essentially, it's just so widespread. You go to internet, you'll find like hundreds of and thousands of portals which talk about such things, right? Where do you get such a nice, how do you know where to start from? Okay. And by the nature of the subject itself, it's such that, you can start from a particular point, but as soon as you start reading a particular topic or a blog, you will soon realize that one, it is not complete. Second, it uses terms which you won't understand. So, then you have to go back, look up those and so on. Okay. So what I wanted to really do is to, create a nice sort of a track based on which people can sort of follow it through and learn in a systematic way, right? So that they learn at step 1, step 2, step 3, step-by-step learning rather than a haphazard kind of learning, going here and there and trying to figure out some of the other things, right? Especially for folks who don't have too much of time, this is probably the best way to learn, okay? So these are things that sort of motivate me to start teaching this one, right? And hope that I live up to the expectations.